Brad Wall has a fresh new mandate after November's pretty convincing election win, and he has a very short and affordable list of promises to keep. So once all of those are ticked off, just how does he plan to spend the rest of his four-year term? Well, Premier Brad Wall took a few minutes to talk with me about that.
Once you get your modest campaign platform done, what are you going to do for the next 4 years?
Well, the platform itself, the promises were modest, but the vision is bold. The vision of our government has always been about a growth agenda, not for growth in it for its own sake, but for what we know growth pays for. Broadening tax base pays for quality of life and lets you reduce debt and do all the things we'd like to do in government. So the vision is that we would be debt-free in short order, that we'd be 1.1 million people by 2015, and we're on track to do all of those things. And if debt elimination and population growth are a part of your vision, it's going to inform a lot of things you do in government. You're going to work to try to continue to see the economy grow, but you're also going to work on quality of life so that people want to move here and stay here. And if you're doing that on a consistent basis, well, that's going to mean a lot of other things over and above what was in the platform. But I'd also say this, though, Jeff, sometimes less is more, especially in this day and age when we see what's happening in Europe, in Greece, and, Italy, pick countries in Europe and even in other provinces. You realize that fiscal probity, fiscal responsibility is fundamental to the future of this province.
We've got, mines expanding, new mines coming in, lots of drilling going on. So what can you do over the next 4 years to help us not be, a resource-dependent, up and down sort of economy? Are there some things that you can do, or would you just prefer as a government to just be hands-off and let the economy go where it goes?
No, I think there are things that leadership can do in this regard. It's fundamental. We do have a very resource-based economy, and we need to plan for the day when these non-renewable resources are depleted. Hopefully it won't happen for a while, but it's going to happen. And so we have an innovation agenda right now in the province, and it's based on the next economy built on the strength of our current economy. In other words, a strength of our current economy is agriculture. What are we doing in terms of an innovation agenda with respect to agriculture? Crop science, the University of Saskatchewan obviously has a key role at the College of Agriculture, storage technologies, transportation technologies, and the Global Food Security Institute we committed to in the campaign is something you're going to see. I'm going to focus on that personally, so will our government.
One of the kind of challenges or difficult relationships your government's had is with Labour, and kind of came up in the election campaign, came up after the election campaign. Where do you see that relationship going? I know you're looking for more accountability from unions. Where do you see that relationship going? We're
going to have a package of changes to present to all stakeholders. We're not going to just introduce legislation and pass it. We have another package that we'll propose to stakeholders, union leaders as well, and they can comment on it before we would introduce them in the fall of 2012. Yeah. We think it's obviously very important to have a good relationship. We settled the contracts we needed to settle. I mean, sometimes there's more difficulty than others, more challenges than others, but we want to make sure we're working on behalf of the same members the union leadership works on behalf of, and that's obviously the people of this province, those who are members of unions. That's our priority.
As you look at the next 4 years, how important do you see our relationship, Saskatchewan's relationship with the United States? How crucial is that?
Well, it is very important. 60% of our exports go to that market, for example. It's very important. If there's a bad brand for Canadian energy that impacts us, even though typically they're referring to the oil sands, these groups in the U.S., when they have a negative image of Canadian energy, and ours is conventional, light, sweet, friendly crude, as we say. Still, that's an impact on us, and so we need to be mindful of the brand and engaged in that marketplace. We're the second least dependent on the American market for exports in Canada, next only to BC. Yeah. So that also means we need to continue to diversify away from our dependency on the U.S. That's why on our trade missions, we've focused on China, we've focused on Japan and India. Indonesia is going to be a focus. We've been to Bangladesh, where we see markets growing and the demand for our products growing. So it'll be a two-pronged approach. One will be to solidify a relationship in the U.S. And make sure we're taking care of these brand misperceptions to the extent they impact us. Mm-hmm. The other one will be diversifying away from the U.S. market, especially into Asia.
Okay, very good. Thank you, Mr. Premier.
Happy New Year.
You too.
Thanks, Jeff.
Yeah.